It's me, John D. Villarreal, joined by Paul F. Villarreal. I've got my props here too. My wife got my daughter some cool new stuffed animals tonight, and I think it's kind of apropos a little bit. They're going to come into play later in terms of President Trump's strategy, but an analogy, if you will, potentially. And my total speculation, don't have any inside information, anything like that. But anyway, the bottom line is the big news, and we're going to get ready and we're going live on LinkedIn here. So LinkedIn, we're going to go live on LinkedIn here in a second as well. Hey, everybody, what's going on? It's me, John D. Villarreal, live on LinkedIn, live on Rumble, live on X, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. And we're talking about the fact that Matt Gaetz is out as a nominee. He withdrew his name from candidacy today for Attorney General of the United States. And former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi is in. This is big news. We're going to talk about it. A lot to talk about. Let's tee up Paul at Villarreal first. Paul, what do you think about this? What do you have to say?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think a lot of people coming into today felt pretty good about Matt Gaetz and what his positioning was. Of course, we knew from, people like Mark Halpern were saying that they thought that, he was in a better position than some of the other nominees and so forth. And I thought that Gaetz had a good day yesterday meeting with senators from everything that we knew. And this happened, and this hit, I can't remember what time it hit, maybe like 6 o'clock or something like that. Gaetz put up a post and said that he was withdrawing, and I think it took a lot of people by surprise. And then later on, we got some more details, but it was, I thought it was a bit of a shock. And I think that there were some people kind of disappointed, a little bit dispirited, but, I don't think, for a lot of people, I don't think that feeling lasted very long.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to go through that. We've got some stuff from Gaetz as well. And in fact, probably let's start with that. That's probably the most appropriate place to start here. We've got some statements here by Matt Gaetz right here. This is 11 hours ago, roughly. I had an excellent meetings with senators yesterday. I appreciate their thoughtful feedback. Incredible support of so many. While the momentum is strong, it's clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump advanced transition. And then we go on and on and on. And basically, thus, I will be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. Trump's DOJ must be a place ready on day one. Now, if you go back to some other stuff, then later on, he was going back and forth with President Trump said some good things. Carolyn Levin, we're posted a truth from Trump, and Trump said they greatly appreciate the efforts of Matt Gaetz in seeking approval of Attorney General. He was doing very well. Same time, didn't want to be a distraction for the administration. JDV says, I'm extremely grateful for the work Matt put into the nomination process, made his decision to withdraw entirely out of respect for President Trump's administration. Great. I mean, JD is always on point. That dude is, and I backed him from step one. I told him he'd be a great pick. And then here we go. We had right here Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is in as the new pick for Attorney General. And then Matt Gaetz says Pam Bondi is a stellar selection by President Trump for Attorney General. Pam and I worked closely together when she was Florida's Attorney General. Okay, that was really interesting here. She's a proven litigator, an aspiring leader, and champion for all. And very, very interesting. Okay, so that is from Matt Gaetz. So I think that's a good place to start. Now, where do we go with this? Let's also talk about, Paul, you've had something on a lot of commentary on this. And I think that's why I have my little stuffed animal friends here, because I want to make an analogy here. And I told you that, and I had confidence that what Trump needed to do is have picks number 2, 3, 4 in reserve, ready to go, that are in the same lane, if not stronger, or if not potentially more effective overall, whatever, but basically the same level, that top tier level talent in terms of effect. Okay. Because Trump is here and MAGA wants reform. That's the agenda. The agenda is reform. Okay. And that's why we have Doge and things like that. And so, that way, that if they try to bog you down on any one appointment, you have more in ready to go. This is from News Nation. Paul, you put this up about 4 hours ago from former Deputy Press Secretary Hogan Gidley on News Nation. Let's hear this and let's have the comments, and I'll stop in the middle and have some comments, I'm sure.
Republican side chief sails through. This is a safe pick, in my bet.
You know her well.
Yep. First of all, breaking news is going to be a reoccurring theme.
Oh, I know, man. Get ready.
You guys had 4 years resting. Now you got to get back on the ball, guys.
I keep telling people, were you there in 2017?
Okay, so I'm going to fast forward this. So obviously, you know, like people are feeling like
just a couple more seconds and it gets into it.
Okay, let's go right here. And people are feeling good about this. People are feeling like this is a much more a stronger pick to get confirmed by the Senate. I think it's going to be tough to marshal opposition for her. Now, obviously, ideologically, she's in that Trump, MAGA, Gaetz, obvious, you know, type of lane. Was I think she was Senator Rick Scott's attorney general. I mean, she's been a big name in Florida politics for quite some time. Pam Bondi is very well known around here in Florida GOP circles. There's no question about it. It has a lot of experience. So people can't levy the same criticisms of Pam Bondi by any stretch of the imagination. Let's see what Hogan Gidley has to say here.
Tell me about Pam Bondi, and more specifically, Hogan, why you think Trump immediately went there.
I think she is a very trusted, loyal advisor to Donald Trump.
That right there, I think, Paul, that right there is such a super key point. We're obviously going to play more, but I mean, Trump wants someone he can trust to you know, do the agenda and the mandate that he believes he has, in my opinion, in the Attorney General's office. A very, very important point there by Hogan Gidley. Let's see what else he has to say.
They are friends. She has done a lot of things for him on the campaign trail. She's out there all the time. You know, people think his policies won Florida. It was me and Pam on the boat parades. Let's be honest. Everyone knows that. But no, she went around the bus tour for him as well. But over the course of the last several years, they have grown their relationship. She's always at Mar-a-Lago. You know, she advised.
She really is. I mean, again, not that I'm keeping, you know, I've been there myself or keeping the guest log or anything like that. But I mean, I'm constantly seeing stories or things on X or just pictures or again, I'm in the Republican circles, right? Even at this point, a little more tangentially, but just, you know, I'm connected with a bunch of people, whether it's on X or LinkedIn or Facebook or all of the above. And I've seen lots of pictures of Pam Bondi, if I recall correctly, in my opinion, at Mar-a-Lago. So I definitely agree with that. She's been in that mix. She's been in the mix for a minute. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Like she's been in that Trump orbit, that Florida GOP orbit for a long time.
Advises him on all sorts of things. But in addition to that, I think she's known, loved, and trusted by everyone around Donald Trump as well. She's never jockeying for things or trying to, nose her way in. She just wants to be there and help any way she can. And I think people like that humbleness about her.
Another important point right there. You know what I mean? Like she's not going for a bigger job. She's not going for the limelight, whatever. And I'm not someone that really cares that much about that. I think that can be a little bit overblown. I mean, especially when you've got top talent, you know, top talent is going to want to, maybe sometimes a little bit harder to handle, but that's why it's top talent. And I'm fine with that. But I think what's important in respect to that is that this is such a key position, as is state, as is DOD, as is, HHS and all these types of things. In order to enact the Trump agenda, the reform agenda, you're going to need to have someone that is focused, that someone that wants to be there, someone that wants to enact the policy, someone that's going to do that and not try to, as we saw before, Paul, and let me bring you in on this and we'll go to some more clips here. Someone like we had some people before that some would say potentially, in my opinion, not allege anything, were maybe thinking that they were smarter than Trump or they were going to box Trump in or they were really running things or fill in the blank. We saw these different reports out there, and I don't think Trump wants any more of that in this second Trump 2.0 administration. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, look, again, I don't want to, whatever, but there were people who think in the first administration who seemed perhaps more focused on their own thing than Trump's thing. I mean, I think that the first person that comes to my mind is somebody like Omarosa. And like, you need somebody who's going to be a team player, who's going to be focused on Trump's goals rather than their own goals. And what Hogan is saying right there is that's how Pam Bondi is.
Hey, where's Mark Cuban, buddy? Because we got I've got a picture here from Lord Lee Trump, and who's done a great job along as co-chair of the Republican Party. but also the RNC rather. And you've got Laura Lee Trump here, and we've got, 3 flexes here. We've got 3 strong, intelligent women right here: Tulsi Gabbard, Pam Bondi, Laura Lee Trump right there. And kind of like the selfie buddy pick, whatever it is right there. It's, there's a lot of talent here. There's a lot of star power. There's a lot of an intellectual horsepower. I mean, when you're talking Doge, oh my goodness, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and crew. Basically, you've had people like I've personally talked to people. Okay, I'm not gonna say much, but I mean heavy hitter. Okay, well, I'll say one. I'm not gonna do it, but I've seen different things online as well. I don't want to say too much, but I'll say this: that I think there's going to be a lot of intellectual horsepower looking to help out this administration. And I'm seeing and hearing things out there and some commentary of some, whether it's, Mark Andreessen, Sean McGuire, David Sachs, the All-In Besties, Friedberg, Chamath, Bill Ackman, Lutnick. You're seeing so many people, luminaries, billionaires, captains of industry, stuff like that. And I'm not saying that's the end all be all and it's about who has the most money. What I'm saying is the level of talent and dynamism that is ready to serve and unleash for this administration is unbelievable. And that's kind of why I brought my buddies over here. To make an analogy, Paul, because I think at first, Trump was going with, we got a little dragon right here. We got a little dragon right here. My daughter loves it. This is great. My wife got this for her. She did a great job. And it was almost like Trump was getting them with the dragon power here. Okay. Was getting him with the dragon power, and really like those picks it was shock and awe and everything. And then, people like for 2 hours, people were really like really worried, really concerned. Like, here, let me go full screen on this just to get the full effect here. People were really concerned that like, oh no, they beat the dragon power. They beat the dragon power of Trump, and that, Gaetz is done, and we're going to get the rest of these. And you could just see blue sky getting all excited, and and MSNBC and all these people. And then Trump hits them with the Fox power, dude. Trump hits them with the Fox power because he goes, oh, you didn't like Gaetz? Cool. Let me give you Pam Bondi. Hey, Murkowski. Hey, Mitt Romney. Hey, whoever that other senator, is out there.
Murkowski and Collins.
Well, Collins, Murkowski, Mitt Romney, but there was wasn't there another senator?
Yeah,
from Utah?
the Mitt Romney's replacement is John Curtis.
Yeah.
And
how you like me
Mitch
now?
McConnell. Yeah.
How you like me now? Vote against Pam Bondi, Mitt Romney. Vote against Pam Bondi. Hey, what kind of dirt you're gonna dig up on Pam Bondi? And who knows? But the point of it is, and this is why we've got the Fox power with the dragon power, is that, look, this is what I told Trump, and I didn't personally tell him, all right, but I mean, in terms of my speculation, my discussion, my analysis, and listen, and again, I'm not here to listen. I get things right, I get things wrong, players. But if you've learned things, if you've watched the show, Paul and I, we've been very good, extremely good, in my opinion, with the predictions, with the analysis, with the sourcing, and all. And I mean, I put our predictions seriously, literally over the last year, 2 years, up against anybody, players. And you've got like Mark Halperin having Seltzer on, like, dude, nobody cares. I don't want to hear Seltzer's explanations for her wacky poll. In my opinion, I'm not alleging anything, whatever. I'm just saying that her poll did not line up with the results. That's all in my personal opinion. I'm not even alleging that, right? But I mean, I'm saying I don't want to hear from Ann Seltzer. I don't need to hear from Ann Seltzer. I don't need to hear from Alan Lichtman. I mean, yeah, okay, you're a professor, 51 years, Harvard, fantastic. Love it. That's awesome. But your prediction and the keys were wrong. The keys were wrong, bro. The keys were wrong. The keys were wrong. I don't want to hear any explanation now, whatever. All this explanation is you're telling me that campaigns matter. That's what you just told me. Yeah, I mean, oh, it's misinformation. I didn't calculate the misinformation. It's always the same stuff. All you're telling me is campaign. I already knew campaigns mattered. And you told me your keys didn't need that. You even went on, I believe, and I'll not allege anything in my personal opinion, recollection. I think you went on air somewhere saying, if I remember right, it could be wrong, that you purposely did the prediction before the debate to show the debates didn't matter, which is the craziest thing in the world because we've already seen where a debate basically took out Biden this election cycle. It was the most ridiculous thing in the world. It's absurd. Okay. And so my whole thing was, look, what you want to do is have picks 2, 3, 4 in reserve. And guess what? Within hours, players, boom, that Fox power. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. So they try to say Trump just is, he's a bull in a china shop. He's like Godzilla. That's why we have the dragon power. He's like Godzilla. He's just going to wreck things. And then he had the dragon power with the 5 picks, with the Furious 5, with the Avengers, whatever like that. But then when you took out one, okay, cool. Boom. Here we go. So it was like Voltron. Okay. You got the combination and stuff like that. Like you had the Voltron power. Okay. Where it was like, okay, one part goes down, doesn't matter. We'll get the other lion. We'll get the other lion robot to team up and stuff like that. And we'll just swoop in here and take care of business. And that's what I'm talking about right there. So, I mean, you have the Fox power and you have the dragon power. And so what I'm trying to tell you is, and we like to have fun. We like to have fun. And that's why you watch us, because it's not just the analysis. It's the broadcastability. It is the fun. It is everything. But at the end of the day, we'd like to try to give you information and analysis that you cannot get anywhere else. I know that high level people are checking out our stuff, whether it's posts. That's a fact, in my opinion. Okay, that's proven. Whether it's posts, replies, shows, all the above, whatever, in my personal opinion, I'm not even going to allege that. And if you watch our stuff, we're going to give it to you. So we're not trying to front like, oh, we've got the best prediction, the source of the inside. The inside is what we do is we walk it down. Political expert, undergrad at Berkeley, poli-sci, right? We're in top program in the world, one of the top programs in the world. Law school at Berkeley, and a top program world. Worked on campaigns all the way up to consulting for U.S. Senate campaigns, coast to coast players. Okay, kind of a whiz kid, stuff like that. And I've been in the game for a long time, along with the digital media, along with the media. That's the thing is I've done it. I've done these different facets, so I understand it. You know who else has done it in different ways? Maybe not the political science and theories of it. President Donald Trump. He's been an international global star. He's been a global business person. So, I mean, people try to punk out Trump. He knows he's so much smarter than people that went to Wharton School, Ivy League, undergrad, and all this type of stuff. And so when you have these different experiences, but then, okay, great. I have my opinions. I have my experience. I have my take. But what's the data out there? And Paul, with the crazy research, and what are the sources saying? And what's the top down? What's the bottom up? And having the MBA and the master communication and the experience in the Valley, and being a venture capitalist before, and being in media and stuff like that, having all these different experiences, understanding how it might go, where it might go. Too many of these people are, I think, a little bit too one-dimensional, and they're relying on these sources, whatever. What if your sources are all insiders? What if your sources are all liberals? What if your source, not all of them? Or what if the models were 30 years ago? The game constantly changes. Perfect example. Now you've got people pushing Elon Musk. We're getting a little bit swerved here, but this is very important. Oh, hey, you should buy MSNBC and see why. The mainstream media game that's a wrap, bro. It's over. 2 cycles ago, maybe even last cycle, they were like, oh, you just need to raise a bunch of money and just drop TV ads. Well, guess what? The most money lost this time. The most TV ads lost this time. What about the vaunted ground game? Well, guess what? Pressler, Charlie Kirk, others changed the game of the ground game. What I like about Pam Bondi, Paul, is I think you've got someone that understands how to do the AG role, someone who is a Trump loyalist, someone who's with Team MAGA. So she kind of has one foot in the establishment world-ish, if you will, with that, and she has one foot in the Team MAGA, but definitely, I'd say both. I don't want to say it that way. I'm not. She understands how to play. I mean, she's firmly in the Team, but she understands how to play that. Now, she's not the firebrand, again, dragon power of a Matt Gaetz and stuff. And I'm not. She could do a better job. at AG. She could be way more effective because she's done the job before. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of ideology and stuff like that, it's not like, this isn't that kind of pick. But it's what I love about it is it's a pick that I think is going to be very effective and a pick that is going to be hard to vote against. Agree or disagree, Paul?
Yeah, look, I agree. Look, the names that came out of the 5 senators who were supposedly against Matt Gaetz were Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Mitch McConnell, Mark Wayne Mullen, and John Curtis, who's the guy that just replaced Mitt Romney. So, right, I think immediately when you put in Pam Bondi, I don't know how Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski vote against her. That's 2 right there. I mean, that is, takes you from 5 against to 3 against. That would pass right there, in my opinion. Still, I don't know how the other 3 are going to vote against her. She's already done this job on a state level. She was a prosecutor before that. I mean, she clearly is competent, knows how to do this. Ellie Honig, the CNN legal expert, I think said tonight that she's like maybe the most qualified candidate in the last 50 years for the job. Right. You're going to have a difficult time going against her. And so certainly one of Trump's main considerations is we have to get the person in. And that looks like it's a very high level of chance of success of that. Then you get somebody that is loyal to you and you've known for years and years. And as you said, look, I love Matt Gaetz. I think Matt Gaetz is great. I think Matt Gaetz is extremely smart. However, he's never been attorney general before. She has been attorney general before. So you're getting someone sliding in who knows how to do this job. And so, look, I know that there are people who as you alluded to, who think maybe she's not MAGA enough, or maybe she isn't this, maybe it's in that. I think that she's a good pick given everything involved here, including she has to get through the nomination process. And she is going to have Trump's back, in my opinion. And those are, I think, 2 of the most important elements of this. And those things are handled.
And this is the thing. It's not about personalities, players. It's about effectiveness and the agenda. And a couple of things I want to share here. You go to Pam Bondi's page right now, right? There's nothing there, dude. I mean, no, it's not. She hasn't even posted about this. So that's what I'm saying. It's a different zone, bro. And here's her, and she was at Mar-a-Lago, and that's a picture of Trump. Great picture right there, and everything. And so it's a different scene. You know what I mean? It's a different scene. Now, if we go over here, you've got some on the left, in my opinion. Actually, I can't remember all this, but you've got some that seem to be a little bit concerned, in my opinion, on the left. And let's tee this up. Ari Melber at MSNBC. Here we go.
With all accuracy and fairness, on paper, her state level experience is much closer to what presidents in both parties have.
What, dude? How do you get closer than that? She was a Florida attorney general. I mean, I don't know how many you get lots closer than that, players. I mean, like, what are we talking about? Is a lot close. It's way closer. Like, I don't think you can get closer than that. You know what I mean? I mean, you could say a legal experience. Oh, maybe you get a former judge or this or whatever. But I mean, like, that's as on point as you're going to get, players, because I mean, in terms of managing an organization and prosecutors and all that type of stuff, here we go.
Sought at the DOJ. That's a huge difference with Matt Gaetz. The political part, though, is different. Right. And then what I bring to you is, and Juanita mentioned it, you have that political history and you have.
I'm out. Check it. Are they worried, bro? Let's see what's going on here. What's he going to say?
Have a proposed number 2, a deputy attorney general who recently handled Donald Trump's criminal defense. So if this were the team, and they have to go through vetting and confirmation, but if this were the team, this would be 2 of the most politically defensive lawyers of the.
Oh, what did I say? Dude looks worried, bro. Ari Melber looks a little worried here, Paul. Let's see the rest of this.
Personal capacity of an incoming president we've ever seen running DOJ at the same time.
All right, I completely agree. And quite frankly, my thought is that after Gaetz dropped out, it would be essentially somebody from Trump's legal team. It would be like a Jay Sekulow or somebody like that. I assume that's where he would get these people from. unlike William Barr, even going back to when we were all kids and like Janet Reno, right? Occasionally attorney generals try to behave like they are not the personal.
Yeah, that's like, dude, we had Janet Reno as attorney general. Let's not act like there hasn't been some different. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to, but like, dude, I mean, Pam, like, dude, I mean, okay, so this guy's a professor. He knows what's going on. He's got some information. This is MSNBC now. So, like, they seem a little bit worried to see what's going on.
Lawyer of the President of the United States. That is completely out the window. Pam Bondi is exactly what I was saying in the last segment that we should all fear because she's competent. We may not agree with her ideologically, but she actually knows how to do this job. So if anyone on the Democratic side or anyone who cared about liberty or justice was thinking, well, maybe Matt Gaetz will screw this up and that'll give us some time. No, Pam Bondi knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing.
Look, you know what? He's obviously on the left. It seems to identify on the left. And maybe I misheard that, Paul. You can correct me, whatever like that. Seems fair. Seems like a fair analysis to me. He's saying, listen, Pam Bondi knows what's going on. Paul, your comments.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I believe that person is on the left, so I think it is. Look, it's exactly what we said, and I definitely agree with what he spoke there, which is she does know how to do this. She knows the way that it goes. Now, I believe that Matt Gaetz was on a judicial board, like when he was in the state house in Florida. So again, it's not that he has no experience in this, but he's never actually done that job. Now, look, to be fair, they mentioned William Barr there. When Bill Barr came in and was Attorney General for President Trump the second time, he had already done the job before at the U.S. level. So, okay, maybe he has a little more experience, but nobody wants Bill Barr to be Attorney General now, and he's never in consideration. So, of the available people who you actually think could do this job, right, her experience level is extreme. There's no question about that. She does know what she's doing. And I do think that there are people on the left who are more concerned about her than they were about Matt Gaetz. One, because I think they realize she's going to get through. And two, yeah, she's going to hit the ground running because she's done this before.
Oh, there we go. Now, what's your take on, as we're just going to make it a short show here, so we'll wind this down here pretty soon. I do have to show you something here, players, that totally unrelated, but like Elon Musk is like me. First of all, congratulations to Elon Musk. Elon Musk, I think, is now the number 4 ranked. I think he's number 3 ranked Diablo player in the world. Just totally crazy. Like that guy's like me. Like I mean, I wish I could be like him, of course. And I'm very happy with how I am. Very blessed. Thank you, God and everything like that. Don't get me wrong. We all have our strengths and weaknesses and stuff, and I couldn't have asked for a much better hand. It's like if you're in D&D, I mean, the roles I got were pretty incredible, so I'll take them all, no doubt about it. But and money's not everything either. But I mean, of course, mad respect to Elon Musk and everything. But I mean, I remember growing up with video games and being so in tune with that. And I think there's a hero's journey, if you will, Paul, kind of a redemption, if you will. I don't know what you want to call it for video game players. They're seen in a different light here. But Elon put this up here. This is a drone shot, and I hope they figure out something with the whole drone stuff and I gotta mute this here. Put this up of the Coliseum. It's just amazing. Just put this up in Rome, and it's massive. I knew it was big, but I mean, this thing is massive. I'm not going to show all this. Just show some of it. But I mean, look at just the scale of that, players. I mean, that is insane. I think they built that, so long ago, and that was the big entertainment play. That was the thing. Like, look at this. This is a little FPV drone right here, going up the steps. The big thing. Like, how amazing is that? That's wild. That's so wild right there. Impressive. So many different things out there in the world that are just incredible. So I love to see Elon Musk and stuff like that. So what do you think, Paul, does this right the ship for Trump? Is this the Fox power that he needed right here? Does this get it, start taking the heat off the nominees and stuff like that? I know there's some, people are starting to talk about Hegseth and stuff like that. And again, there seems to be a momentum and blood in the water and stuff like that and some of these things. But now I think that it's just been a huge change in momentum. Within 2 hours, it went like that, So where do you feel now about the nominees for Trump?
Well, I think that, like I said, I do think that it definitely swings back the kind of the energy and the momentum towards Trump. I mean, again, there are some people who were more keen on Gaetz than they were on Pam Bondi. On the other hand, there are people who are extremely thrilled with Pam Bondi. But I think the main thing was is they had somebody ready to go so quickly, which clearly means that they had prepared for this. They did have contingency plans, and I think that that shows how disciplined and how prepared that this transition team has been. So I think that because of they demonstrated that they are ready for backup plans when necessary, probably with all of these various picks. I think that that shows that that kind of stabilizes the opinion of how things are looking for Trump and this transition and the set of picks moving forward. So I'm sure that they have that the same option available for whoever else,
That's what they have
might
to do.
have to might not work out. And so that's what I think is going on here. And so I think that definitely, as we saw there with the MSNBC clip, it's like, yeah, it's not like you're just gonna we're gonna get one person to go away and everything's all good and we won. No, somebody else is gonna be right there, right behind them.
We're not.
And so, yeah, I think the momentum is clearly with Trump.
Yep, we're not putting in resist. We're not putting in, GOPE. We're not putting in, that's not happening, dude. And Sean Hannity seems to like it right here. Obviously, and Pam Bondi has been on Sean Hannity's show a lot. Here we go.
It is another good night for Republicans. President-elect Donald Trump has announced his new pick for Attorney General. That is Pam Bondi. Now, this is a terrific nomination for many, many reasons. Now, Pam worked as a prosecutor for nearly 2 decades.
There you go. So Hannity's loving it. Hannity's loving it and ripping off the accolades right there. So I think it's a good night for Trump. It's a good night for MAGA. I think Gaetz will be fine. I mean, we might see Gaetz in. Who knows? Maybe Trump puts him in FBI. Maybe he goes back to Congress. Maybe somehow he gets put in the Senate, although that may be Laura Lee Trump. Who knows? We'll find out what's going to happen. But the idea that you were going to, you might stymie a nomination, you're not going to stymie the agenda. That's the whole bottom line right there. I think this is a big move for Trump. It's a big win. Best of luck to Gaetz. We're going to see what's going to happen. And I think that they are looking at contingency plans out there. We may see Kash Patel. And there's a lot of different players. There's some great players on the field right now. And I think there's more to come. And I think that, we're not going to have these games. We're not going to have, advising consent, 100%. And the Constitution, we love it, everything like that. But the agenda is moving forward. That's what I think, is going on right there. Anyway, that's what I have to say about that. I'm loving it. I think congratulations to Pam Bondi once again. And Team Trump and MAGA. And Paul, any final comments as we sign off?
Yeah, look, I'm extremely excited to see moving forward what happens with the other nominees, the other picks that haven't been announced yet.
Absolutely. It's going to be very exciting. So thanks so much. I hope you're having a great evening out there. For Paul at Villarreal, I am John D. Villarreal. Congratulations once again to Pam Bondi and best of luck to Matt Gaetz. We're looking forward to seeing which I'm sure we haven't heard the last of Matt Gaetz. I have no doubt about that. In my opinion, we'll see what happens in there. And thank you for tuning in. And once again, this is why, in my opinion, you tune in, because what did we say? Trump has to have that bench ready to go, and he absolutely did. And so the agenda keeps moving forward. So thanks so much for watching. I am John D. Villarreal. Hope you have a great evening. We'll see you next time.